Hey there, it's Shadow Penguin, back again with another Skyrim video. So the video I have lined up for today will be a very intriguing one for me to make, and also very interesting for you to debate in the comments section. Today, I'm going to be ranking the Aedra from least powerful all the way up to most powerful. So I started to make this video, or record the commentary for this video, a couple of days ago. However, I was a lot more ill then than I was now, so my voice just sounded really bad, so I decided to scrap that commentary effectively. But during the intervening 2 days, I decided to introduce a tier list into my ranking, simply because with the Aedra, more than the Daedric princes, certain differences appear to be kind of splitting hairs, which wouldn't really be productive for the rankings at all. So, to that end, I have 3 tiers. I have C tier, which applies to those of the 9 divines who do not have any great power or influence, B tier, who are not great movers or shakers, but have redeeming features which make them notable, and A tier, those Aedra who have made big changes to Tamriel's history, and in fact the history of Mundus, and also have great mythological significance amongst the divines. So in C tier, we have 2 Aedra, Mara, the goddess of love and the mother goddess, and Dibella, the goddess of beauty. The most notable thing you can say about Mara is that she's the spouse/concubine/wife of Akatosh or Lorcan, depending on which version of mythology you believe. However, I believe Akatosh to be far more likely, and also the father of Arkay. Besides that though, she does not appear very often in mythology. There is of course the Temple of Mara in Riften, but she does not command the same attention or respect as the divines in the A or B tiers, and therefore is deserving of her place here in the C tier. The other goddess is Dibella, the goddess of beauty. Now of course, there is the statue of Dibella in Helga's bunkhouse, and the only thing I can really say about Helga is that she takes the teachings of Dibella a little bit too seriously, shall we say, if you know what I mean. However, similarly to Mara, she does not appear very often in lore. She does not appear to have any significance in shaping the history of Tamriel, and therefore she as well is confined unfortunately to the C tier. Moving up to B tier, we have Stendarr, the god of justice, Julianos, the god of wisdom and logic, Kynareth, the goddess of air and the elements, and Zenithar, the god of work, commerce and trade. So Stendarr is certainly deserving of his place in B tier, simply because he has possibly the most angry group of followers in Skyrim. The Vigil of Stendarr carry out his will to a T, and they decide that they do not like anything which rebels against order, and of course Stendarr is the god of order, amongst other things. The irony of this situation is that Stendarr is also the god of mercy, and this irony is reflected in their favourite line, "May Stendarr have mercy on you, for the Vigil has none." The original purpose of Stendarr as simply a god of justice was changed a bit when the Nords took hold of him, and he also became a god of compassion. And it is also said that he accompanied Tiber Septim early in the Third Era, when he was still a mortal man, before he ascended to godhood. Therefore, he is certainly deserving of his place in B tier. The second god in the B tier is Julianos, the god of wisdom and logic. The reason why Julianos deserves to be in the B tier is that he has dominion over the Elder Scrolls, documents of great power and strength, as you will be able to attest to if you have completed the main questline of Skyrim. He was also held in great regard by Tiber Septim when he was still Emperor of Tamriel, therefore he deserves to be in B tier. The third of the Aedra is Kynareth. So Kynareth is also called kind by the Nords, as you will be able to tell. You have spells such as kind as peace. There's also locations in the game named after her Nordic name. She is the goddess of the elements. Rain is supposed to be a phenomenon attributed to Kynareth. And very importantly, and the reason why she is very important among the Aedra, is that it's said that she was the Aedra who convinced the others to join in Lorcan's plan to create the mortal plane of Mundus in the first place. Therefore, without her intervention, it is quite possible that none of the events of the Elder Scrolls games could have been possible to occur in the first place. Therefore, despite the fact that she is not immensely powerful, at least comparative to those in the A tier, she is still very important in that regard. As a further note, it is also said that Spriggans are her doing as well, warp the laws of what is seen as natural or not, and they're sort of seen as natural phenomenon, which are dedicated to Kynareth. Third in B tier is Zenithar, the god of work and commerce. So Zenithar, while at first appearing somewhat innocuous, is spared the C tier due to one very important factor. It's due to his follower base, which is huge, and also the most diverse out of any on this list. Within the world of Skyrim, if you partake of any manual labour, whether it be chopping down trees, mining, whatever, it is likely that you take Zenithar as your patron. As Zenithar does honest, hard work. However, in Cyrodiil, Zenithar is seen as somewhat more cultured, being the patron god of the wealthy petty bourgeois. Therefore, he has a huge base of worshippers, and for that reason is deserving of B tier. It is at this point where we move up to A tier. Now, the Aegir in the A tier are ones which have shaped the events of Tamriel to a large degree, and are incredibly prominent in the most popular mythologies surrounding the 9 divines. In A tier, we have Akatosh, the dragon god and the lord of time, Alkay, god of life, and Talos, the mortal man who ascended to godhood. In my opinion, Akatosh has more influence on the mortal plane than any of the divines, in the form of dragon breaks, where he can reweave the fabric of time to suit something more to his liking. For example, when Alduin the World Eater was sent forwards in time to the events of Skyrim. He is always seen as the mightiest amongst the divines, and takes the likeness of a dragon. However, unlike Periite, this is a sign of strength, rather than overcompensation. The second god on this list is Alkay, the god of the cycle of life and death. It is said that Alkay, who was the son of Akatosh and Mara, was the one responsible for the creation of the mortal races on Tamriel, and as such is incredibly important. Besides this, and is also considered by preeminent scholars to be one of the foremost of the divines. In Skyrim, Alkay is represented in every single Hall of the Dead, as every one of these halls has a priest of Alkay in it. Coming to the 9th now and final divinity on our list, this is the controversial one which I'm saving till last. It's Talos, otherwise known as Tiber Septim, as a mortal man, the mortal man who ascended to godhood. So, Talos, known as Tiber Septim, achieved many things while he was alive. He was Emperor of Tamriel, the founding father of the Septim dynasty, which spanned the length of the Third Era. He was also able to unite the Empire under a single banner, and more importantly than that, he was Dragonborn. However, it is his ascension to godhood shortly before his death where the controversy truly begins. Emperor Titus Mede II declared that Talos was never supposed to be perceived as a god, and therefore in Cyrodiil, the divines are still referred to as being 8 divines instead of 9, or sometimes the 8 in 1, to signify Talos' late ascension to godhood, shall we say. However, it's entirely down to speculation whether this is the true belief of the Empire, or simply the terms forced upon them by the White God conquered it. The reason why Talos deserves his place in the A tier on this list is he has been able to influence events on Tamriel just as much, if not even more potentially, than Akatosh, as it is the issue of Talos worship, which sparked the entire civil war in Skyrim in the first place, as the Nords felt it was unjust that they were not allowed to worship Talos, and therefore wanted to overthrow the Empire for being weak and not standing up for the supremacist Thalmor, and by extension the Aldmeri Dominion. If you decide to choose the Stormcloaks and take them to victory, this could possibly mean the collapse of the Empire, and by extension the Aldmeri Dominion, thus changing the socio-political landscape of Tamriel forever. Thank you very much for watching, see you next time. Hopefully this video will spark a lot of debate in the comment section. Of course, this is not a completely objective list. It is impossible to find compile a completely objective list on the 9 divines in this manner, as I said, because so much about them is conjecture. So as always, I would be very, very happy to hear your opinions down below in the comment section. But until then, see you next time. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this content and want to see more like this, as well as other things such as Skyrim builds. And see you next time with another video.